Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Michael Eybers with American Moving in Chantilly, Virginia, with over 45 years in the moving industry in the DMV area. How you doing today, Mike?
Good, Yuri. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thanks for joining me. So, Mike, how did you get into the moving industry?
Well, I started when a neighbor of mine's father owned a furniture company, and I used to go over there and help out. And the guy next door had a moving company. This was in Bailey's Crossroads, Virginia. And he asked, he said, "Hey, you come work for me, you'll make more in tips and you get an extra 50 cents per hour." And I jumped on it. And that was at 16. When I was 17, I was driving the truck and worked there during the summers. That's how I got started.
All right, great. And so why moving, not something else?
Well, the funny thing was while I was working for the company, especially during the summer times, and now all my friends were going off to college and everything. And I said, I don't want to be a mover. This is the last thing I want to do is be a mover for the rest of my life. So I went to school, and during the summers, I worked construction, worked for a moving company. When I got out of college, my only experience was mainly with moving companies. So I went and applied for a job to do dispatch, and I did that for a couple of years for a local company here in DC area. Then I got into doing surveys, military surveys, and so I got pretty good at estimating. And then from that, they asked me to do sales, and I started working on commissions. And boy, Yuri, I loved working on commission. It gave me the freedom to do whatever I want, and realized that the harder I worked, the more I made, and that was unique for me.
Yeah, that's how kind of how it got me into this also because if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have told you I'm good at sales, but I hate it. And but at this point I can say I really do love my job. I love what I do. I mean, obviously it's better to work for yourself than with somebody else. But that's ultimately what you get to a certain point where you decide what you want to do in life. And it's for some people it's better for them to work for someone. For other people, it's better to be in charge. And I know for me personally, when I started, I had a partner, and the partner left a year later. And the moment he left, the business blew up. So you need to have somebody with you if you're going to have a partner that shares your vision and not just shares your vision, willing to work as hard as you do and is working as hard as they do.
I completely agree with that. Sure.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself on the other thing. I had my partner would get up at 12 o'clock and say, "Oh, I'm going home. I have nothing to do." And I would say, "What do you mean you have nothing to do? There's all these companies that you can call. We can invite them to our place. We can go visit them. We can do this, this, and this." And that just he did not have the same mentality as I did, even though I thought we were on the same page when we got started. So, but
Yeah.
ultimately, it's having the vision that works is a key to growing a business. And we talk about a lot about sales, and we're talking a lot about the moving industry and in sales in general. It is that piece that's important to any business that's selling anything, whether it's a service or a product. And for us specifically, it's so much about building that connection with a customer.
I completely agree. Sales is extremely important in our business, and if not, it's probably the most important department. It all starts there.
What differentiates you from your competitors, or what differentiated for you over the competitors over the years? I mean, 45 years in the business, you've done a lot of things. You've seen what we're all dealing with today.
In the DC area, where it's unique. We have a lot of people that move in and move it out of the area. We do a lot of office moving, and we watch most companies don't make it. A lot of them don't make it. Some of them become huge. Our neighbor is one of the biggest moving companies in the world, and we kind of kept it small for a reason. I kind of enjoyed it. I was at a point in my life where we needed to make money. We were making money, but at the same time, I was comfortable with keeping the size it was.
Yeah, and it's not always about about places. Some places say, "Oh, I need to open this location and that location." But the thing is that it's also, even if you are making a little bit of money, is that little bit of money worth the extra headache that you're doing by getting that second location?
Sure.
Because
Sure.
second location, you have to pay leases, you have to get a warehouse, you have to hire guys that are going to be central to that location. There's a lot of moving parts that you got to put in place if you're going to do more than one location. So the question is it better for you to invest that money in the location that you already have and expand it maybe?
Mhm.
And it's going to be more comfortable. Maybe you'll make at least the same profit that you would have made with the extra location, except you're going to have less of a headache because you got all this other stuff already in place.
Yeah, and and doing it for as long as we have a lot of repeat customers. We get a lot of referrals. We have a couple of nice contracts, and that's kind of what keeps us going. We're not out there to grow, have different locations. You hear two people talk about franchising. It just never. And we've had people approach us, become an agent for them, or become franchise for them, and I just kind of like the way it was. The big companies call us a small mom and pop operation, and when I worked for some of these big companies, they always kind of look down on them. And I tell you, I recommend this to anybody after 35, 45 years owning this company. It's been absolutely, now that I'm semi-retired, the day-to-day was a little bit different, but now that I can look back at it, Yuri, it's wow. I would recommend this to anybody. I really enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Gary Bines, the CEO and founder of movinginsurance.com and Relocation Insurance Group. Would you like to secure every move with confidence and shield your company from claims while also increasing your revenues? With Relocation Insurance Group and movinginsurance.com, you and your customers can choose specialized insurance solutions for every step of the move. From moving insurance for household goods to fine art and commercial cargo, we cover it all across all 50 states. From an all-risk policy covering the entire shipment to only specific items, to a total loss policy, you can count on us to protect your customers' valuables. Partner with us and benefit from our comprehensive programs managed by our expert team of insurance professionals. With the moving industry's leading moving insurance partner by your side, you can secure every move with confidence. And if you're wondering about compensation, the answer is yes, of course. You'll earn additional income for referring your customers who are interested in insurance. Join our network and let's make every move a success. Discover more with movinginsurance.com.
So what would you recommend to new companies starting out today?
When I started out, I didn't have any deep pockets. I didn't have anybody I could go borrow money from. I had an old U-Haul truck, and I purchased that and just worked. Had an office in my apartment. My wife and I were recently married, and yeah, I was answering the phones. I was out on the trucks. I was going to visit people on weekends to do estimates. But it can be done. If I was to tell somebody, look, if you're self-motivated, go do it. You might not succeed the first time, but just keep at it and keep at it. At that point, we had a mortgage and a baby, and Yuri, I couldn't fail. That was it. I had to keep it going. There was no plan B. So that helped. That was a good motivator.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I got two kids too, so it's like, you have to you look at even in a current situation. Obviously, it's been a tough year for moving, actually tough couple of years now. All right. And it's at the end of the day, you still got to pay your bills. You still got to take care of your family. You still got to take care of people that are working for you, because it's like it's not just that. And a lot of people don't understand that, yeah, you have your regular day-to-day things with your family, but you got to also all these people that are used to you taking care of them, depending on you to continue taking care of them. Tough times, not tough times, bills need to get paid regardless. People got to eat.
Yeah, I agree. We're very fortunate, and I tell my guys all the time, I say, look, you take care of my customers, and I'll take care of you. And Yuri, most of our guys have been with us over 20 years. So we feel very fortunate.
No, that's great. It's great to have people that you can rely on. I can tell you, I have a couple of salespeople here that have been with me for a very long time. One of them does sales for you, but yeah, they've been booking for a very long time, and they're great. They're really great people, and they understand what my expectations are.
We love Stephanie, and she's doing a great job. So yeah, we're very pleased.
That's great. Yeah, she's good. She's peculiar, but she's good. You know, I mean, everybody has their own personality for sure, and you know, you have to get used to things at times. But you got to work with people. This is a people business, very much so. And for our philosophy specifically, and it goes back to when I was a salesperson doing this full time. I'm still doing this a little bit to a degree. I mean, I want to get away from it and focus solely on the business. But once again, it is slower. So it's slower across the industry. There's that I don't have a
It is
choice.
now. It is. I recently retired. I not completely. I'm still involved when they need me, but it seems like they need me less and less. But I don't live in the DC area anymore. But Nick keeps telling me, Nick and a couple other guys there that are running the company, it's slow. Fortunately, we have a couple good contracts with office moving, so it hasn't been as tough for us. But it's after 45 years, I've seen so many cycles and things going up and down, and I'm used to it. Just don't panic, keep going.
Yeah, so that what would be your, because obviously a lot of people are asking me, and they're asking me this all the time, when are things are going to get better? Are we going to be back to our regular cycle? Are we going to see an improvement? What's happening in the industry? I don't know what to do. You've been around for 45 years. You've seen this before. What is your advice?
I can tell you my wife and I first bought our first condo, which was 35 years ago, the interest rates were at 17%. And we thought there was no way we were going to do it, but we got it. And I think it went down in value for the first 10 years. And then on the 11th year, it doubled in value. In the meantime, had bought a house and we were renting it out. But, it's the moving industry. People move for good reasons and for bad reasons. That's kind of makes us unique. When the market's great, people are moving up. They're selling their houses. They're buying nicer houses, or they're making more money, and they're moving. And on the other side of it, unfortunately, when the thing is on a downturn, a down cycle, they might have to give up space. Offices are downsizing. They're giving up space, and we're still busy. We still move on. What we don't like is to see in between where it's stagnant. And that's kind of where there's a lull on it, and just our phones aren't ringing, and we're not nearly as busy. Those can be tough times. I agree.
Right. And it's I think it's about, don't look at what the other companies are struggling. Look at what you can do different. It's not about what anybody else is doing. I spoke with a moving company in New York the other day, and all they wanted to do is talk about what their competitor was doing to put other companies out of business, right? And stop thinking about what your competitors are doing. Focus on what are you doing? What are you doing different? What's going to drive traffic to you? Are you active on social media? Are you doing different things? What are you doing with your marketing? What are you changing? Are you working with charities? Are you working with government? Are you finding different avenues? You got to be creative for yourself. Forget about your competition. Forget about what they're doing. If you do exactly the same thing that they're doing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do just as well, because they're doing it already. You're new to that game. You may do it better, maybe, but there's no guarantee that you're going to do it better.
No, I agree completely. I don't want to know what my competitors are doing to the point that I'm worried about what they're doing. If we're slow, we're going to either lower our prices, we're going to start a new advertising campaign. I don't know. There was a time when I saw so many trucks going down the road that were, why are they busy and we're not busy? I don't pay attention to that. You don't really pay attention to the experts. I know when the money's low, or our schedule. The main thing is our schedules, and we can't keep our employees busy.
Right.
We're finding things to keep them busy, and it seems to work out.
Plus, once again, you don't know what your competition is doing. Maybe they're dropping something, or they're offering something. Maybe they have some sort of an agreement with somebody somewhere that's getting them a packing supply or something else at a super low rate that you don't have, that other people, maybe they have an agreement with somebody somewhere.
Hey, listen, there's plenty of times I know we have more trucks on the road than our competition does. So it doesn't affect me one way or the other.
I think it changes. One week you may have more trucks, the other week they may have more trucks.
Yeah,
like you never know who is going to call. You never know what the conversation you're going to have. There's a lot of things that affect and impact what you do. So yeah, you're going to test the market, and you're going to see what other companies are charging, so that you know if you're in the ballpark. Because at the same time, you don't want to price yourself way out, and at the same time, you don't want to charge too low, where frankly, you're losing jobs because you charge too low.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. You can lose jobs if you charge too high. You can lose jobs if you charge too low. So if everybody else is charging $125 an hour and you're charging 100, you're going to have customers that are going to go like, well, what are they doing? Why are they charging 100? Why are they so much cheaper? I'll go with one of the other guys because, they all seem to be on the same whatever. For that reason, even though it may not make financially may not make sense, but that's human psychology. That's how people think in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
They're like, well, why are they so much cheaper? That sometimes can actually do you harm than good.
Well, we don't want to be the cheapest moving company in town.
You
So
always want to be in the middle, really. That's like not the
yeah,
cheapest,
we
not
want
the
to be the
most
best
expensive.
moving company in town.
Yeah, and that's the best, and that's the focus. I think that's you want to provide good service. You want to provide good things for the company so that so that people can keep coming back. Whether it's commercial moves or local moves, you want people coming back to you because you're the best and
Yeah,
because you take care of
exactly.
them. From the
Yeah.
salesperson onto the labor help on the day of the move. You want to
You're right.
feel like you want to feel the level of service. And at that point, if you feel that, you're willing to pay more, frankly. You want better service.
Yeah, we love our repeat customers and our referrals. That's a big part of what we do.
Absolutely. And I think that's a big focus. Now, you and I talked a lot about sales, and you're a big sales guy going back to many years. What do you see coming up for moving companies in that area?
Technology wise, it's always changing. I mean, the way we do estimates, we do some virtual estimates. We're using your service. We would have never done that in the past. I mean, when I started off, it was Yellow Pages, and everybody's paying thousands and thousands of dollars for full pages and or half pages, and we couldn't afford that. We had a little in column, and that's changed so much, Yuri. Social media, and I'm probably a little bit too old for that. I know how important it is, and we have people that manage that for us. And but yeah,
And
it's
we'll
changed completely. Reviews are everything now, and you know, fortunately, we do well enough job. We're not big. We're not doing thousands of moves, but we're doing quite a few moves each year, and we're steady. We keep going, and our reviews keep coming in. And if we make a mistake, we fix it, and we talk to the customers and get it right. But yeah, I couldn't tell you other than that what changes are coming.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things too is that when we're talking about reviews and such, okay, so 5, 10 years ago, you could get some small guy that's going to put up reviews all over Google for you, right?
Yeah,
Well, you know what? If any of you try that today, you're going to be throwing a couple $100 in the trash. So you might as well save yourself the time and aggravation because Google today, they
right.
screen and they check their reviews. So if you just spent and you suddenly magically out of thin air got 200 reviews that you just paid, or you know what? A, if Google can't verify them, they'll take them
Yeah,
down. And
yeah.
B, they're going to block you for a minute, for a period of time. You're not going to be able to get anything through Google because they're going to discover that you're doing this, and that's against their policy.
Fortunately, we do a lot enough office moving where the house good side of it, I don't worry about it as much. But for our salespeople that are involved with the house of good side of it, it's tough, those reviews. And we're not going to pay anybody to put reviews up. They're legitimate reviews, and we get a lot of good feedback. Most of the people that we have don't take. We ask them for reviews, but they don't. We don't incentivize them to give us the reviews. But the ones that take the time, they're sincere, and we're happy with them. It doesn't seem to hurt us.
And ultimately, this is industry, especially today, where there are no shortcuts. You got to get
Yeah,
there with hard work, frankly.
yeah,
Hard
yeah.
work, innovation, creativity. That's what is going to get you to the top of the industry to be able to
Well, I know
achieve
you and I
something.
have talked before, and I've said there's what you had mentioned AI and how much technology has changed since the Yellow Pages time. But what hasn't changed is the fact that in order to get a sleep sofa up 3 flights of stairs, you're going to have two guys carrying it, and that doesn't change. The
Nope.
trucks and the guys on the trucks. That's our bread and butter. That's what we do.
Yeah. And it's going to continue that way. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
But we can continue talking about this forever. Thank you, Mike, very much for joining us on the podcast. And as I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like us, please subscribe us, please check out American Moving, and please continue supporting. And thank you very much for joining us for this podcast.